So y'all remember way back when Sam Hinkie was them, and it was what 2013, and we were absolutely horrific, winning 10 games a season, absolutely putting no talent out there whatsoever. Do you guys remember those days? They were horrendous, awful, absolute joke basketball. But we accumulated assets, okay, at that time, because what we were doing at that point, the Sixers were mediocre at best, always becoming the 8th or 7th seed at that point, barely getting into the playoffs in the East, mind you, and not going anywhere. Okay, you had Iguodala, you had Thad Young, we drafted Drew Holiday. It wasn't, talent level really wasn't there. We didn't have any superstars on the team at that time. So, and we had a slew of GMs that were horrific. DeLeo, the hopes go on and on. Then we had Hinkie in here, and he just blew everything up. Sorry about that. Did what no other GM had the balls to do, and was just rip it down from the ground up. That's what you got to do. And you lose on purpose, and you acquire assets, and you trust the process, right? Okay, let's fast forward it a couple years. We got all those picks. You drafted Joel Embiid. We were drafting a bunch of injury-prone guys. Took the 3 centers back-to-back-to-back. Okay? Colangelo then comes in, screws everything up. But if you look at what Sam Hinkie did, he eventually, or essentially, got us Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris. And people are still yet upset about this trade. I don't, for the life of me, understand why. Okay? Why do you still want to keep accumulating picks and, hoping that we're going to get the #1 overall pick to add to this team, blah, 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 blah. That should be in the rearview mirror at this point. We shouldn't give a shit about draft picks anymore, okay? We are in the win-now mode. We are towards the end of completing the process. Sam Hinkie's vision from 2013. This is what he envisioned. We got superstars on this team. Now you want to fill out the pieces. Are we a complete team? No, but adding Tobias Harris almost completes the process and what Sam Hinkie set out to do so many years ago. He's young. He really reminds me of a poor man's Carmelo Anthony. You look what he can do. He just fits seemingly in this offense. Ben doesn't have a problem taking a step back. You got a go-to scorer on this team. I think he's a better three-point shooter than Carmelo Anthony ever was. You look at the past 4 years of his career, Tobias, he shot well over 40%, starting from 2016 on. He shot well above the NBA average. So he shot 37%, and then year on out, he got better and better and better from the three-point line. He's shooting 43%. What are we lacking? A stretch 4 or 3 that can shoot, can score a multitude of ways. He doesn't turn the ball over. He's a smooth finisher. He can hit 2-pointers from there. He shoots over close to 50% from the field. This guy is an all-star. He's awesome, and I feel like he doesn't get enough credit. I feel like he's been lost in translation over the couple of years, and he's only 26 years old. He doesn't turn 27 until July 15th. So you're talking well after the NBA Finals are even going to be over. I think the Sixers' main goal at this point is to re-sign Tobias Harris, because everybody that's in love with this picks, and, they're acting like we gave Landry Shamet, you're acting like he was Steph Curry or Klay Thompson. Was he a nice rookie that exceeded expectations? Of course. But he was nothing more than a bench player at this point. You saw what he did over the past couple starts that he got. It's not like he was lighting it up. Will he eventually turn into something? Maybe, but you got to give something to get something. And I'm hearing people complain, oh, why didn't you give up Fultz? Because what trade value does Markelle Fultz have at this point? Yeah, he's the #1 overall pick, but he carries a high salary, for one. You don't know if he's ever going to turn into anything. And the Clippers, who are in a playoff race now, want to gain as much picks as they can and shed salary because they want to go after Kawhi next year and possibly another potential max contract to try to compete with the Lakers or be the LA team that they were when they had Lob City there. So by getting Tobias Harris, though, I feel like they got to go in, especially if you did, for people that love these picks, You did give up that 2021 overall unprotected pick, but that tells me Elton Brand's putting all the chips in the middle right here, right now, going for it all. But you don't give up that pick unless you know for sure you're going to guarantee and give the max contract to Tobias Harris. I'm not worried about Jimmy Butler right now. I think Tobias Harris should be our #1 priority in free agency. You give him the max contract. He's only making $16 million this year. I feel like the kid has earned enough to get a max contract. Now since he's with our team now, what's up, man? We had the option to give him 5 years, I believe $188 million. Since he's with our team, we can give him that 5th-year option rather than if he goes to another team, it would be 4 years, 144 with the max, with the new CBA agreement happening this summer. And then you look at Jimmy, he's still got another year. He's making $19 million. He's going to opt out so he can get paid. But I want to keep a close eye on Jimmy Butler. We will see if he would rather win more or if he wants to be the me guy that we've all heard horrid stories about Jimmy, you know, being me, give me the ball, ISO ball, blah, blah, blah. So it will show over the next couple months if Jimmy is going to be that guy and really going to be a team player, or is he just going to do him and get paid? Because he's kind of struggled in this offense since we've had him. But now there's real no excuses to really say anything that you've got all these pieces. We got the best starting 5, I think, in the East, and 2nd overall to the NBA to the Golden State Warriors. If you look at our starting lineup with Simmons, JJ, Jimmy, Embiid, and now Tobias Harris. And to boot, the other 2 guys we got in the trade, you know, Boban, who's going to be a free agent, and Mike Scott, who's also a free agent, you're going to shed their salaries next year. They're a one-and-done guys. I don't think they stay here. But you got a high prolific scorer from behind the arc in Mike Scott. I'm sorry, I think I said Mike Evans. Basketball, not football. But Mike Scott shoots close to 40% from downtown over the past couple of seasons. He's a lanky defender, but he's a stretch 4. Going to be a lot better than Mike Muscala. He's only making $4.5 million. Then you got Boban, who's a rugged, huge center that we've lacked when Embiid goes out. So he's a true center that's going to be able to go in there and give you good minutes and give Embiid a blow. He's not a real defensive-minded center. You know, he's just a big-body guy. He's kind of slow, but you have 7'3" in there. You're going to try to alter your shot because he's huge. Just his sheer size is going to sheer guys to try to alter their shots with him in there. So now you try to move Amir Johnson if you can, Fultz, of course, but you shed the big contract of Wilson Chandler, 12.5. He's gone, but you still got Fultz's $9 million that you're going to try to want and shed if you can. So I still think you have to add pieces to this bench. Now, there have been talks of the Hawks and Orlando inquiring about Markelle. Okay, if you do shed his salary, you could add another wing. I think we could try to get Terrence Ross, if possible, or Taurean Prince, one of those guys who's going to be Ross can light it up from anywhere. I still think you need more shooting on this team. You can never have enough shooting on his team. But if you can somehow get something for Fultz, you do it. I would rather keep him if we can. But he's not going to give us anything in the playoffs. Definitely not. So if the opportunity arises and Ross is on the table, you pull the trigger and get it done. You know, we also did go out today and get Malachi Richardson. But that's nothing. I don't think he's really going to affect the team at all. He had a lot of high upside when he was coming out of Syracuse. Long, lanky shooting guard / small forward. You know, can't really shoot it prolifically. He's long, rangy. Kind of good in the up-tempo, but he's nothing really special. We got him for cast considerations. And then we got, God, I can't even pronounce the dude's name. I'm not even going to try to butcher it. But the draft rights to, not a Brazilian, somewhere over there near the Czech Republic, I believe. He's 31. He's been tossed around. His rights have been tossed around for the past couple of years, so he's really not going to make an impact. But I don't think the Sixers are done. You can add a Ross or a Taurean Prince to add depth to this bench. You have to. And then, God willing, with Zaire Smith getting healthy, he's going to add a defensive presence to stop these guards because TJ sure as hell can't do it. So if we can get him back healthy, he's going to impact the game. You still got Justin Patton, who I think can still help this team out. But, you know, you could possibly use him as another trade chip. He's only making $2.7 million. And then you also have Shake Milton, who I think can do just as much, if not more, than Landry Shamet. He just broke his finger, though, so he's going to be out for a little bit. But, like, people reacting the way they are about Landry Shamet, again, they're acting like we were giving up the next Klay Thompson or Steph Curry. Yeah, he exceeded expectations. We got more than we thought we would out of a 26 overall pick. You know, he could shoot the three. He was weak defensively. He was nice. But, again, you have to give some type of value to get somebody. And Tobias Harris, I think, is so underrated because not a lot of people know who he is or don't watch a lot of basketball. This dude is the real deal. And like I said before, you got to try to lock him up because he's not even in the prime of his career yet. And if we can get him in the prime of his career to go along with Embiid and Simmons, that's why I think he's worth pursuing and giving a max contract to. Because you look at all those other guys, it's a stacked free agent class this year. I think he's one of the best, if not better than some of the guys that are coming out this year. I mean, let's be realistic. We're not going to get Klay Thompson. He's not going to leave the Warriors. If he does, he's going to play in L.A. with LeBron. You know, you got Antetokounmpo. He ain't going nowhere. They're going to re-sign him. There's a lot of stars out there. So I think we go out, lock Tobias Harris up, and make a push because this move is going to cause a lot of other teams in the East to try to start and scramble. You're seeing a lot of high action here right now. None of the teams ahead of us has really made a move. You know, you've got the C's possibly making a move for Anthony Davis. Not tomorrow, if they can somehow pull it off. If not tomorrow, but definitely in the summer. But they're going to lose some pieces. They really haven't impressed me with what I thought they had done. And they still sit in the driver's seat with Danny Ainge and all the picks that they've accumulated. But you look at the Raptors now, I think they should be scared. They really haven't made a push for anything. And then the guy sitting atop of us, Thon Maker, was traded today. The Bucks acquired Stanley Johnson. Doesn't scare me. They're just adding more of a physical presence with him. He's a good defender. Doesn't really score a lot. Kind of a 3-and-D guy, but very streaky from behind the arc. He's just a big body guy that's going to, he's like a bulldog. He's going to go in there and defend. But I still think Elton Brand is going to be active. And then we have the buyouts that we're going to be active at. You got a Wes Matthews, if he's going to get bought out. If DeAndre Jordan, again, is there, I'm still going after him. I'm trying to acquire as many pieces as possible to have as much depth on this team as possible. I'm not, you know, getting Boban was nice, but I still want to get more depth. If we can get it, DeAndre Jordan, absolutely, go out and get him. Wes Matthews, you got a guy that can defend and shoot the three. He would fit perfectly in this system that we run. And then after getting these guys, mind you, there's no more excuses for Brett Brown. Nothing. So we're going to see if this guy is the real deal. He literally has zero excuses now for coaching and setting guys up. And we're going to see the real Brett Brown now. If you can't manage a starting five like this, well, then you don't deserve to be an NBA coach. So he's going to be put on under the microscope very, very... Or let's say he's going to be scrutinized a lot more by acquiring players that we did in the trade. But I think both teams, Clippers and the Sixers, both made out. You know, you look at what the Clippers are trying to do. They cleared up cap space to try to go get Kawhi and get another big free agent, and then they stockpile with picks so they can try to improve their team. I think they got a couple nice rookies in this year's draft when they turned Blake Griffin into 2 first-rounders. So, don't think it would be hard to get rid of Amir. But, you know, you try to clear his, for what he's done. It's not like I got anything against Amir. He's just a little long in the tooth. Doesn't really fit in our system. You know, he's a dog for whatever he's done when he was here, but I still think you got to go out and get the better center. And I don't know what his contract's like, but I know he's making a pretty penny. So I don't know if y'all think this was a great trade, but I'm seeing so many negative thoughts about this trade. It's baffling to me. You know, it's crazy. You give up our pick, the 2020 pick, it's going to be in the low 20s. If we get Wayne Ellington and Wesley, we win the East. Yeah, he got traded. to the Suns, so he's more than likely going to get bought out. I'm going to heavily target Wes Matthews. He would be at the top of my board for guys that are going to get bought out. Him and DeAndre Jordan. If both of them get bought out, you got to stick your toe in the water right there and nab both them guys. Trade TJ for a glass of water. I don't even think we do that. You know, if it was Fuji water, then for sure. Grab Ellington and Matthews and buyouts. Trade for Ross or Prince. If we can get that done, if they're willing to take Markelle, I would do that. Kill Bridges and Shamet for Zaire and Harris. Well worth it, Filio 2-4. You know, people were upset about that Mikal trade. Well, look at that. That pick, and that's the other thing I want to say. People are so honed in on, oh, well, that Miami pick's going to convey. And, dude, you don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 years. Why are we looking 3 years down the road? Like, that pick was always meant for us to use as firepower for a trade. We were never going to keep it and use it because we're not looking for picks now. It's not like, I feel like people thought, you know, let's just say this is 2 years from now and Zion went to college and stayed in college for a couple years, came out as a junior. I feel like they thought we were going to get like Zion Williamson to add to our team. It just wouldn't flow. It's not realistic. It probably more like it wouldn't happen. And to hinge and hone in on and keep that pick for that reason, for the off chance that it might be a top 3 pick. Not all picks convey and turn into superstars. That's the other thing I'm like scratching my head about. So you do it, you trade in for NBA players right now that can ball. I mean, this kid can ball out. I'm telling you, he reminds me of a poor man's Carmelo Anthony. And that might even be an insult because he can ball. He's awesome. He can score at every level. He doesn't turn the ball over. You know, he's not like a lockdown defender, but he's long and rangy. And he deserves a max contract. He turned down a 4-year, $80 million extension from the Clippers over the summer. Thoughts on Jimmy running at the point? I don't really like it. I'm okay with Jimmy running the point, you know, but a lot of heat was gonna be a top 3. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about, Philly. You look at that pick that we gave up for Markelle. I thought they would be one of the worst teams in the league, but look at what happened, and they surprised everybody. So that pick we gave the Celtics might fall out of the lottery. It might be in the mid to late 20s, the way they're cooking. So that's why I say you don't hinge on these picks, because you don't know what's going to happen in 2 years. They could turn around. They could go out and sign a bunch of free agents, or you just don't know. I said the same thing about Far from Poor Man Mello. I love Tobias Harris. I've wanted this kid for the past 3 years. I don't know if you guys remember me talking about it, but he's the perfect fit. What's up? What's up, Nathaniel? How you doing, homie? Welcome. So, I mean, our chips are all in the middle right now. We're going for that full house. This thing's just Fultz instead of Tatum. I mean, I'm not really hating on it because you don't know. Danny Ainge can sit there and say all day that that was his guy the entire time. Tatum. We don't know if it is. We'll call his bluff. Tatum had an amazing rookie year. What is he doing this year? He's struggling. He's not balling out like he did. Wes Matthews and DeAndre Jordan getting bought out. For your sake, I hope they are. I don't know if it's 100% going to happen, Z-Smooth. So I'm thinking, why would the Knicks hold on to them? If I was them, I would want to get bought out. That's the rumor. It's related, but how you think Embiid and Simmons, Pat Riley just won't pack. What was that about Simmons and Embiid cutting down on the turnovers? They need to do that. That's been their Achilles heel, I think, both of them, since they've gotten to the league. When they get pressured or doubled, you know, they get real nervous. But, again, they're young. You figure they'd only be sophomore, junior? No. They'd be graduated by now. I'd rather have Wesley than... Yeah, so would I, just because of the defense that Wes Matthews can play. But I don't see the Knicks keeping their big contracts. Wes is coming off of a big contract. I don't know how much DeAndre signed for this year with Dallas. So, buy them both out. We go after them. Ellington is a good three-point shooter, but he's like a one-trick pony in my opinion. I would rather have Wes Matthews, who I know can lock down, can be a lockdown defender, and can shoot the three. Ellington's a defensive liability. So I'm going hard after Matthews. The Sixers have been looking for this type of... Yeah. And Tobias Harris is a huge upgrade over the homie. Lucky as you're sending you so off the bench, and we don't even get you started on Toronto. Yeah, they've got deeper benches, but if we can get... If we're not done trading, which I don't think we are, I still think Elton Brand is going to do some more trades, and then the buyout market we have. Just subscribe to every sports YouTuber. There you go, Nathaniel. Welcome, man. We do a lot of sports here. We do baseball, not so much hockey. Football is a big one. Basketball, of course. Cole from the Magic will be traded soon. He's a free agent after this season. That's true. I think he's going to get big money, though. And they're going to try to rebuild with him or try to get something for the Magic because they got Mo Bamba. They've got all the... And Jonathan Singletary. Literally no excuse. No, he does not have any more excuses. Do you remote chance of Fultz being dealt? I do think Fultz is going to be dealt sometime today. Nah, we're not going after Dennis Smith. New York's going to use him as a building block. What is your favorite for the... My favorite team is... I'm a Jacksonville fan. From Philadelphia, born and raised, and I'm a Jaguars fan. I always get like that. Look like that, like, what the fuck? Like, really? But I rock out with the Phils and the Sixers, and I don't give a shit about hockey. Like most people. No offense to any hockey fans out there. But my only problem is Brett needs to coach better if we had any chance because he still don't get Jimmy and integrate in the offense. Yeah, and that's the thing, and they're going to have to figure out, and that's why I'm not worried with Tobias. That's why I think he's the bigger free agent coming up over the summer than Jimmy. I'm going hard in after Tobias. Jimmy's my second option. If we can't re-sign him, you know what? Oh, well, whatever. So the spotlight's going to be on Jimmy. He's going to be the big question mark. Think the Jags might... No. Hell no. Jalen Ramsey for Nick Foles? Come on, dude. And I don't know why people are coming out even saying that. Like Jalen Ramsey. He's the best corner in the NFL. Like, I feel like people are giving Foles all this credit because he won 3 big games. Just because he's the Super Bowl MVP and won the Eagles Super Bowl doesn't mean he carries all this weight in the trade market. And the Eagles have to franchise tag him for him to be traded anyway. So I don't think anybody's going to call the Eagles bluff and pay all that money. They're worried, but they should be worried because the Giants are going to pursue him heavily if they don't tag him. I mean, I'd give Foles a little bit more value than for Jerick McKinnon. I mean, I think what he was evaluated, Foles for a third or a fourth-round pick is sufficient. Because I think Foles is a systems quarterback. He fit well with the Eagles because they have a great line, great offensive weapons. You say he goes to Jacksonville, my team, he's not going to have the same success. He's going to get eaten alive. They have no line. They have no wide receivers, no tight end. But that's a whole nother video. I want to talk some basketball. Definitely. But Jimmy being integrated, you know, he likes to go to the tin to get his buckets. Do you think Brett will go out the door? Can I get this done? Yeah, this is a make-or-break year for Brett Brown in our eyes. But he's so tight with the owners and Elton Brand. I mean, he helped get Elton Brand into the GM spot. He's not going to be really on the hot seat. Tell me about the 2 other players acquired with Harris. Stiffs are... No, they're good. You know, you got Boban, who is a certified backup bona fide, I think, stud center. You know, he's a big body guy. He can get rebounds. He's not like a surefire shot blocker, Sean, but people are going to adjust their shots because of how huge he is. And he's got some post moves. You know, and he played for Popovich. That's how he got his start in San Antonio. So, you know, kind of know you got that link there, kind of the same situation, kind of run the same offense. Clippers got more cap space and assets now, more than likely to get Kawhi, which means he could be out of the East. Yeah, there's no way he's staying with Toronto, which would help the Sixers even more so. If he does win a championship, that might be a slight chance he possibly stays, but he doesn't like the cold. He's a California kid, played for San Diego State, made his bones with San Antonio. It's not a big glitz and glam, man. He doesn't seem like a guy that wants to be in the spotlight, like going playing for the Lakers. He more suits going to play for the Clippers. Smith pick worth it now? Oh, I'm happy with the Zaire Smith pick. And if he can come back and contribute, see, I feel like he's their golden egg right now. They're not going to trade Zaire Smith. Brown was really high on him. They like what he can bring to the table. And if he can get healthy and help us contribute in the playoffs, which I think he can, that's why he's down with the G League right now, getting in, basketball shape, so to speak, after all that problems with the peanut allergies and all the complications. He's a guy that could really stop the bleeding from the guard perspective, because we've had an issue stopping guards with penetration and breaking down the defense. And he can guard 1 to 4. He's long, athletic. He's going to be good in the up-tempo game. And he really doesn't have to rely on shooting now so much because you have all these other pieces. Before, when the Sixers were going in the Summer League, you were kind of worried, like, is this kid progression really going to be hampered because we don't have the shooters? And you really needed him to contribute and learn how to shoot because we didn't have the pieces. Well, now you can kind of bring him along a lot slower and develop that shot. It's not as big of an issue with him not being able to hit down jumpers because you have Tobias Harris, Jimmy Butler, Embiid, so on and so forth. Sixers want LeBron Celtics versus Lakers. What do you mean, Creeper? I know you're a Celtics fan, and you got to be sweating because the C's haven't made a move, bro. Trade Fultz, Korkmaz draft pick for Orlando, G.J. Augustine, Terrence Ross. What do you think? I'm cool with giving up Fultz straight up for Terrence Ross. I really don't want to give up any more to get Terrence Ross. I don't think it would take that much either. If so, I would honestly like to hang on to Fultz just because I feel like if he does get healthy and leaves, he's going to tear the league up. That would be sick if it was a Warriors-Sixers final, and I think we could take them, honestly, if we played like we did out in Oakland that night. But the defense got to be a lot better, and the ball handling does too. Celtics are pretty good, though. They'll beat LeBron. I mean, they just got smoked last night. LA is in shambles right now. Not the Clips, the Lakers. Because they got smoked by the freaking Pacers without Oladipo. I mean, they got destroyed by 42 points. So, I think this whole debacle with trying to get Anthony Davis and what's going on with the organization and LeBron is a big cancer in the locker room, too. Love the trade, don't mind the picks, can't predict the future. Exactly. They might. I don't know, though, JV Smooth. You got to look out for them. Celtics are sneaky good. But then you have the whole thing of Kyrie not re-signing. You've got free agents in Terry Rozier. Are they going to deal him? I think Marcus Smart might be a free agent. So you got a couple pieces there. Are they going to trade Gordon Hayward? Because he really hasn't panned out like they thought he was. They've won 10 out of 11 out of last games, and they've got a fantastic coach. And they have a slew. They have 4 first-round picks this year. 4. So they have so many assets. They don't want Anthony Davis to get traded. Ben Simmons needs a jump shot to hinder. We should trade TJ. I don't know what you'd get for TJ. Oh, sorry. I don't know what you get for TJ at this point. I just keep him on the roster because he's a good energy guy. So, he's not the best backup point guard, but he does bring tenacity, and he is the heart of the team. But you got also Tobias Harris, who can bring the ball up if need be, but what's so great about Tobias is he can score and get points off the ball, which is the biggest thing. Which is the biggest thing for us. But you got Jimmy. What I'm going to like to see is Boban and Jimmy playing the two-way. Down screens, a lot of ISO ball. And that's going to help when Embiid goes out. Then Jimmy can go to work and do his thing. You can have Ben possibly going down on the block, but you got Boban and Jimmy. That two-way is going to be awesome to see. I think that's going to be great. And it gives you more pieces that you could move around rather than when you got stuck with Mike Muscala. Jeremy Lin is... are you asking if we should go after Jeremy Lin? Yeah, I like Boban. He's awesome. If I would try to even re-sign him if we could after this year. He's been a fan favorite everywhere he's went. I seen him destroy Jahlil Okafor one-on-one. Jake Milton will be perfect replacement for Landry. Yes, when he gets healthy. He just broke his finger today. What do you think about going after? Yeah, Pat Beverly. Uh, I'm not trading for Pat Beverly if they give up a second round pick or cash considerations, but he's a feisty guy. Can play a little D. Oh God, I don't want Jeremy Lin. Hell no. If it was a buyout, yeah, but I'm not trading for Jeremy Lin. I really don't like, dude. FaZe, I cannot stand Mike Muscala. I really can't. I mean, he's shown so many chances when he got the minutes, and he would just brick wide open shots. Well, Harris play his first game for this. J.R. Smooth, he gonna be playing Friday night against the Nuggets. They're already here, so we got 2 days off. I think they landed today. Boban, Tobias, and Mike Scott. I mean, I think it was an awesome, awesome trade. I mean, it broke late last night. Luckily, I was still awake when it happened. Yeah, I'm ready for baseball, dude. I mean, kinda. I'm kind of upset the Phillies haven't gone off and signed Bryce Harper and Machado. And now they're talking about getting JT Realmuto, which a whole nother video I would like to talk about. Like Mike after Warriors game, but then I went back to hating him. Yeah, dude, like he would have an okay game where he'd drop like 15 points, where he'd hit 5 out of 7 threes, and you're like, all right, he's finally starting to catch on. And then he'd go on a stretch of like 7 games where he's going 1 for 7, bricking wide open shots, getting destroyed defensively. I mean, he had that key block against the Warriors, but a lot of the times he was not showing up on the stat sheet. He wasn't doing the little things. I mean, he was just scrambling and running around like a chicken with his head cut off. A ton of wide open looks, and he'd brick them every single time. You can't have that. You need guys being able to hit up wide open shots. And the only reason he got playing time like he did is because of the lack of depth that we have. What up, Philly Sports? You know what I mean? When he was on Atlanta, he sparingly got maybe like 10 to 12 minutes. He's like a TJ, a guy that's going to be able to spell your stars for a good 5 to 10 minutes. That's it. You don't want to give a guy like him or TJ major minutes in the NBA because they can't hack it. They get cooked. Gonna get those wide open. Exactly. Now you're going to be able to get the wide open looks. And for Tobias, a guy that can knock him down, the same with Mike Scott, shooting over 40% from downtown. Tobias Harris, 43% from downtown. Dude, FaZe, Mike Scott is way better. Have you ever seen him play? Have you seen Tobias play? See, that's what I feel like a lot of people hate on this trade because they don't know who Tobias Harris is. Like, they've never watched him play. Just need more defense off the bench. And more shooting. I'd like more shooting. Plus teams double JoJo. You cannot do that anymore. No, they can. Not with all our shooters in the starting lineup. Kyle, will Bryce sign anywhere before? I don't know, man. I feel like I've gotten 7 new gray hairs waiting for freaking Bryce Harper to sign. And it's starting to make me worry that we're not going to get him at all, Sean. Stressing. Like, legit stressing we ain't going to get him. And I feel like if we do miss out on him, we're going to reach for JT Realmuto and give up Sixto Sanchez, which is an awful move. But again, another video. Another video I could talk about that. I want to talk some basketball. It's going to be embarrassing talking. Sixers be embarrassed by... Yeah, right, Creeper. Stop talking smack. They ain't going to be embarrassed. We have the best starting lineup in the East. Oh, yeah, Mike Scott's a nice little piece. I think he's a steal of this draft, too. Because he's a guy that can stretch the floor. He's a high-energy guy. He's rangy. He's long. He's a decent defender. But he'll hit the wide-open shot. You know, so you definitely can't really... He's kind of like JJ. You can't go too far off him because he's going to hit the open jumper. He's got a nice... His jumper's wet. I'll say that. His jumper's wet. Trade TJ and Zaire for De'Aaron Fox. Ain't happening, bro. They ain't getting rid of De'Aaron Fox. They're not getting rid of Buddy Hield. They've built a nice little young nucleus out there in Sacramento. Finally. Took them long enough, but they did it. And that trade they did with us for Nick Stockus didn't end up biting them in the ass. Yeah, for right now they are, Creeper. Could be Jared Bayless was supposed to be. Who's that? Pappy James. So what other players are piquing interest? Possible Sixers additions. You're talking Terrence Ross is out there, Torian Prince, TJ Augustine, Dwayne Dedman's still out there, Wes Matthews. Just wait on exactly. Unless we get a trade done. Doesn't complete it, but it's in the right direction. Dude, Broads, we are like on the cusp of completing it right now. If we end up re-signing Tobias Harris, yeah, I would love Fultz for Terrence Ross, but that's the only guy I'm giving Fultz up for. If not, I'd rather just keep him. I'm not trading Zaire Smith. I'm holding on to him. We got Shake Milton, who can replace Landry Shamet when he gets healthy. Yeah, but what I like about Terrence Ross is he's a big shot maker. Like, he reminds me like a J.R. Smith. Like, he's got range from all over the place, and when he gets hot, he can cook. Raquel should still become a star. He could, you know, and if you can possibly get something for Terrence Ross, like, he's sneaky athletic, too. I would do it. But if we end up keeping Fultz, I'll be happy, too. And he always killed the Sixers. I would be 100% okay with Terrence Ross for Fultz. But anybody else, nah. I'm keeping Fultz. Hopefully he turns into what he can. But, you know, he's carrying a hefty salary for us. So we can shed that. Cool. Shed Amir. Cool. And hopefully we can get, I'd take nothing less than a first. Dude, that ain't happening, Pappy James. We're not getting a first for Fultz. We'll be lucky to get a second and an average player. Yeah, Sixers won't be killed by the Celtics, dude. I don't know what you're talking. You're just trolling. Is Fultz really injured? We don't trade him. We need Wes Matthews. Yeah, Wes Matthews is the big key buyout right at this point. But as far as Fultz, I don't know if Fultz is healthy. He's not even cleared for basketball operations right now. Yeah, I'd like Prince too. I wouldn't mind him. Either or. Terrence or him. Need to give up any more depth. Raquel should have gotten traded with Dario and Rocco. Nah. I don't think... And for what, though? He wouldn't have re-signed here if we went after Kawhi. So that would have been a waste. That potentially, we would not have Jimmy then. I don't want Ellington, though, Barodes. I'd rather have Wes Matthews. I mean, he can hit from downtown, but he's a defensive liability. So I'm rather going Wes Matthews. No, I don't agree that the Celtics are better than the Sixers. That's what I've been saying. You're just trolling. No, I don't agree at all. I think your team is looking weak right now. Yeah, he's a Sixer killer for sure. He always went off against us, even when he was with Toronto, Terrence Ross. He could have been, Eric. We don't really know what's going on. I don't think Fultz wants to be here, so he's not going to leak out certain stuff with his camp and letting us know. He just wants to get out. He just wants to get... Why am I spamming? Are you talking to me? Philly 024? Are you talking to Creeper? But, you know, there was reports that he got in a motorcycle accident, and then doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with him, and then I know when he was working out with his AAU coach, Sixers got out coached. Oh, yeah, they do, FaZe. They've got a way better coach. And that's where Brett Brown's inabilities on how to play checkers or chess. He's always playing checkers, and Brad Stevens is playing chess. Yeah, we need a bench. And Celtics fan, one of those. He's both of them. So you go and get value. But with Fultz, I heard he was working out with he was shooting with a 30-pound medicine ball. And that's what caused his injury in his rookie year. I mean, I honestly think it's all mental. How far is he going to go? Because a lot of the times to get that thoracic disease fix, I even talked to my doctor about it. Because I go see a back doctor, and he knew all about it. He said that there's a rib bone right up here. Your ribs apparently go all the way up to this near your collarbone. And baseball players that have that get it removed. So is he going to go as far, if he actually does have it or doesn't, to go have surgery, and then he'd be out for another year? Or is he just going to admit that he's a mental case and he can't hack it? It's too much pressure. I think a fresh start on a bad team where you get plenty of playing minutes and the expectations are severely low, that's where he wants to go. But being in the spotlight, being the #1 overall pick, being in a big market like Philly, it was too much pressure on him, and he choked. And now these are just all these excuses coming out from him in his camp. I feel like that's just a cover-up for mental. Exactly. That's exactly what I think, too. So, we hold on to him. I just don't want to give him away for free, though. But he may be gone by the time the trade deadline's over at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Let's get some cheap, good players here. Our bench, can't wait to see. Yeah, dude, I want to see what Zaire has, too. I'm happy for him to get healthy, get out on the court, get some up-tempo, being able to defend, especially the guards. It's been our biggest issue all season is guard penetration. I'm tired of Fultz stuff. It's stupid. Fultz is the #1 overall pick, dude. We wouldn't be in the situation if it wasn't for Fultz. We wouldn't have done all these trades if it wasn't for Markelle Fultz. If he would have turned in what he expected to be, we would have still had all these picks. Who knows where we would have been. So I honestly think this issue with Markelle Fultz being injured actually benefited the Sixers more than it hurt us. That's what I honestly feel. So thank you, Markelle, for whatever you've done. And if we can flip you for something, cool. Jimmy trade. Yeah, the Jimmy trade was huge. Yeah, and he's got crazy hops. I want to get him. And Elton said that he would definitely be back before the season's end. So maybe March, we're going to see him. Praying, because I want to see what we got. He's like the golden egg of the Sixers. They weren't willing to get rid of him. They'd rather keep him than Markelle Fultz, the #1 overall pick. That's what we're good at other than basketball. So, but to see everybody bashing this trade is just baffling to me. Like, do you still think we're just going to keep acquiring assets and still wanting to be in the top 10? Like, it's not 2K, y'all. You're not going to have, like, 3 superstars and then you're going to add, like, a Zion Williamson or a whoever. I mean, that's just stupid. I'm glad we trade Saric. He's been pretty bad lately. I miss the homie, honestly. But you flipped him for a better player. Now it's all on Jimmy if he's going to, because we needed him against the Raptors. Like, we needed a big game out of him, and he went 5 for 12. He played like shit. We can't have that. You want to be the guy that's going to take the last shot. You want to be the man. You want to be the go-to leader. Well, then go out and show us. 18 points on 5 of 12 ain't going to do it. I wasn't mad about the picks, but I would move Fultz instead of Landy. Yeah, but nobody wants Fultz, Eric. That's the problem. He's got 0 trade value at this point. So, thank God Landry showed out this season, or we might not have even gotten Tobias Harris. Because they weren't going to give up Zaire Smith. There is no way. I think he's an untouchable with the other 3. Well, the other 2. Jimmy's going to opt out, so he's going to probably get $190 million. But I'm going after Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler any day. That should be the Sixers' main focus. But it tells me by giving up that 2021 unprotected pick that that's what their plans are on doing. And then you got people saying, a lot of ESPN analysts are saying, well, you've got the 2 New York markets, they got a ton of space, and the 2 LA markets, they have a ton of space. He could just go back there. Why would you go back there and take all that money when we can offer you just the same amount of money, but you can contend for a championship? Them other 4 teams are nowhere close. Lakers, and if you go and play with LeBron, you're not going to get your touches, and you have a way harder chance of even getting to the finals because you got to go through Golden State. And the West is really, really tough. It would be idiotic, I think, from his standpoint. You can still get paid and contend for championships because that's what it's all about, right? Yeah, we can keep both if you max them both out, but I'm going Tobias over Jimmy any day. Dude, we ain't getting Kevin Durant. I don't want Kevin Durant on this team. Yeah, because of the birds' rights. So, that's my finding. But people were acting like we gave up like a future Hall of Famer. It's crazy. Oh, next Steph Curry, Landry Shamet. How could we get rid of him? I liked him too. But you turned a bench player into an all-star. Yeah, right, Anthony Davis, right? Let's go get Kyrie too. Yeah, we ain't getting KD. He's probably going to go to New York. I don't want Kevin Durant. He can go stay out at Gold State. He'll be gone next year. He hops teams left and right. He's a cupcake. He's scum. Screw Kevin Durant. I'm good. I mean, Malachi was just kind of like a depth move. I don't think he'll make an impact on the team at all, though. And they made that move because I think Shake Milton broke his finger. That's why they went out and got Malachi Richardson, to be honest. And then once Shake gets healthy, Malachi will either be cut or he'll be optioned to the G League. It sucks for Corey Brewer. Would have liked to have him still on the team. What's that? 13 points a game? That's not good. Who are you talking about, Rel? Thank God we didn't get LeBron. Yep. LeBron's a cancer, bro. You do anything that's against his actions. He's a GM. He's gonna be the coach. He runs the organization. Whatever organization he goes to, he runs that shit. So, nah. I'm glad he's not here. We'll see if he is. But so he can go out in LA and screw that whole situation up for them out there. Go be Magic's headache. He's a crybaby. Did you see after that 42-point blowout? Nobody sat 3 seats close to him. He was all by himself, all by his lonesome. All his teammates were sitting 4 seats away from him. I think Rondo was sitting in a fan seat. That should be telling. I've seen LeBron belittle a coach and scream at him. I've seen him get coaches fired. I've seen him get GMs fired. Nah. He is the best player in the world. I don't care. All that shit, all that drama outside and on the court, nah. No thank you. It ain't worth it. I'm glad he signed with LA. I'm glad we didn't get Kawhi either, because he just would have left after this season. Yeah, they wanted it, Quincy. If KD were somehow signed, which I doubt, I would be the first to get his jersey, cupcake or not. Not me. I'd boycott. I'd get rid of my tickets if KD got signed here. I wouldn't I wouldn't renew my Sixer tickets. Durant's corny. He's a whiny little bitch. I used to love Kevin Durant when he was with OKC. He was humble. And all of a sudden, he just got this chip on his shoulder out of nowhere, and he acts like he's all hard. I can't stand Kevin Durant. When people compare Ben to LeBron, but their personalities, it's because of their size, Sid, and what they're able to do with the basketball, with like being a floor general and all. That's why they compare him. I mean, and that's why they compare Brandon Ingram to KD, because he's 6'10", can handle, can shoot, and he's like the thin man. So those two will ever be linked with LeBron and KD, which I think is an unfair comparison. I don't like when they do those comparisons with players. You know, that's huge shoes to fill. Talk about pressure. You talk about being in the local media and adding an element that the players from the 90s and the 80s didn't have to deal with. Social media is a whole different monster that these kids got to deal with. I know he's not, but he got compared to him. When him and Ben were coming out, they were apparently the next Bron and KD. Durant won't get rings. Yeah, he wouldn't have got rings if he didn't join the super team. He's corny. Ben is Magic and Pippen. He's the number 2 mentality. Could be. I'm cheering for Dallas Mavs in the West. Yeah, great moves by Dallas. You know, they might be back on top before they know it. They got Luka, which was a great move. I'm so surprised Atlanta passed on him. I thought that was a dumb move, but Cuban, swoops in and does his thing, and then he gets Zingod for basically nothing. Even KD helped us win a ring. Would you still boycott? I hate Kevin Durant. If he came here, we'd never win a ring. So I wouldn't have to worry about that. He can go team hop and try to do whatever he wants. I mean, literally, it just shows you were down 3-1 against the team, and instead of coming back and trying to beat them, you just join them. And a couple years before that, you call out LeBron for being a freaking... He's a hypocrite. Exactly. It wouldn't be an automatic ring. Yeah, sorry. Can you steer or can you hear the ball squeaking? My fault. She's being a pain in the ass. It's really annoying. Hopefully Embiid isn't on a team LeBron in the All-Star game. Hey, he might get picked. All-Star game's corny anyway. Like, the only good All-Star game at all 4 sports, oh, again, I don't watch hockey, so we'll just say 3, is baseball. That's the most entertaining All-Star game. Football, they should just get rid of the Pro Bowl. Who the hell even watches that shit? And the NBA All-Star game used to be really competitive. They should make those games, you know, they should get something for playing hard in those games. Because they don't. They're boring to watch. The skills tests used to be good. But then all the good players started coming out of them. Pro Bowl's a joke. Trade Jimmy for Klay, they'd never do that. I'd love Klay Thompson on this team. That would complete the process. But, you know, it's going to be a big offseason for EB. You know, you put all your chips in the middle right here. Are we going for the full house? Or are we going for the 4 of a kind? I want to go for 4 of the kind. Re-sign both them guys. Let's get it done. But Jimmy should take less money. I don't want to give him max because he publicly came out and said that he doesn't want to play till he's 35. Well, if you get the max, you'll be playing till you're 35. But I don't understand how you can hate a player. Yeah, dude, I just don't like Kevin Durant. I just don't like him. He's corny. I mean, he's good. There's no doubt about it. Guy's got skills. I just don't like what he's all about. I wouldn't want him playing on my team. Do you think Ben or Embiid will eventually leave Philly? Tough to say. Depends on what route this team goes. Okay? So it depends how the organization and the GM build around both of them to keep them happy. But let's say we win a championship or 2 championships. I feel like their willingness to stay obviously would be great. They would put the money aside because these contracts about money, they make so much money outside of their basketball contracts. It's not even funny with endorsement deals and all that. A lot of times you make more money off endorsement deals than you do with an NBA contract anyway. I don't know, though. It's getting kind of crazy with the amount of money that they're making. But it all depends to keep them happy. If you're going to be competing night or year in and year out and getting to finals and winning finals, then I think they stay. I mean, they're not even on the cusp of being close to their prime yet. They're 24 and 22 respectively. So we still have a lot. And to see what they're doing now and what they can become, it's mind-boggling. So let's just hope that putting all their chips in right now that we can at least get to the finals. Because you always want to take the next step from where you went last year. So our plateau, well, now that we got Tobias, is definitely the finals. But yeah, I want to at least get to the Eastern Conference Finals because we missed it. We were so close last year, and we came up short, but we didn't have the team. Well, now we have a great chance of making it to the Eastern Conference Finals, if not the finals, okay, with this move. So I think this move, though, should open up Elton Brand's eyes and put aside that Brett Brown got him in that position where he's at. And if he doesn't do it with this team, then he's got to go, for sure. I just like the aggressiveness with Ben. Yeah, I want Ben to stay aggressive. But now this would help him out with being aggressive that you have another scorer. It's less pressure on him. They just got to cut down on the turnovers and being sloppy with the ball. But bringing in Tobias Harris is going to help. This is huge. This benefits the offense so much. And then when you got guys resting, you can take Ben and Jimmy out. Then you could have then you got JJ, Tobias, and Embiid. And it just makes things a lot easier when you have a starting 5 like this. I mean, sky is the limit with what you got. You mean, you don't have to worry about Tobias or Jimmy because they can create their own shots. Embiid could go to work down on the block. Simmons has so much more to work with when he can penetrate and break down the defense to kick it to 2 guys now, possibly even 3 with Jimmy because he shoots a high percentage from downtown, that can knock down the tray. You don't got to worry about having a Mike Muscala out there that's going to brick a freaking wide open look. Or Korkmaz, who does the same thing, but his jumper could progress. So, You know, they didn't pick up his option, so he'll be gone after the season, so it's going to free up some space. I just don't want us to be so hamstrung to where we're just going to have these mid-level guys, but sometimes it happens. Yeah, all three, we're going to be stocked and ready to go playing the Nuggets on Friday. I like Scott Wilson. I think it was a great pickup. I think he's sneaky good. Like an underrated player in that trade. Shoots 40% from downtown. He's athletic. He's a decent defender. A lot better than Mike Muscala. Shoots a higher percentage than Mike Muscala. So, all three of those guys filled a need that the Sixers had a void on the team. And you virtually just gave up. I mean, I'm going to miss Wilson Chandler, but I think you upgraded. Just scroll up. I can't, dude, because the stuff disappears on my phone, Eric. So there's not like an option where I can see the comments. Why? What's up? But we're getting close, guys. And I would hope so, because the Sixers just jacked my ticket prices up for this trade about 150%. All these guys are good rebounders. Tobias averages about 8 rebounds a game. Doesn't turn the ball over. Boban, you know, being 7'3", you'd think he'd be higher on the scale, but he doesn't get that much playing time. But he could take out 2 guys just with his sheer size. 7'3", 290. And then Mike Scott isn't really a 4 that bangs down there. He's more of a finesse player who hangs around the perimeter. I said Brett Brown has a better team than any of his Spurs championships. Ooh. Oh, man, that's tough. I mean, you might be right, though, man. This squad is disgusting that we have right now. How can they raise it if you have season tickets? Well, they raised it next season. Because it gets renewed every February. Your season tickets for next season, you have to pay for them mid-February or the beginning of March. So, that's how I know. They raised my ticket prices. I got the email today. Yup. And they said the reason was because of this trade. So, yeah. But that's an interesting point, Eric. But you're right. I think this should put Brett Brown on the hot seat. If you can't win with this team, or at least get to the Eastern Conference Finals, then you're done. You got to go, bro. Because we all could coach this team in the Eastern Conference Finals. But yeah, people should be more happy about this. We're in win-now mode. We are in win-now mode, try to advance. We're not just trying to get 55 wins and get to the second round and gonna get knocked out. We're chasing that 4 of a kind, all right, to beat that boat. A little poker reference for all y'all. I want them 4 aces, which I think we got right now, and we're gonna beat that boat. So Milwaukee, let's go. I cannot wait for these next 3 matchups. Against the Nuggets, the Lakers, and Boston. It's going to be a sheer test on what these guys can do. Now, great, it looks great on paper. Okay? So we all want to get excited and think it's going to take some time to jive a little bit, though. I don't think it's going to take too long. But I want everybody jumping off the bridge if, God forbid, if they do lose 1 or 2 of these games. And everybody's saying, oh, see, we shouldn't have got Tobias Harris. And look at this, he can't, blah, 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 blah. There's always going to be your whiners and naysayers. Look at the glass half empty. But it's going to take a little bit of time. Luckily, not too much time because Tobias just fits in this offense. So you couldn't have a more perfect fit. Yeah, they choke in the playoffs. They do. But Greek Freak's playing on another level. I just can't wait for this game on Friday to get our young kids acclimated. Let's hope that one day of practice together can help. I am not Adrian's brother. No, we are not related. Nope. It's weird how me and Adrian met. He went to college with a kid I grew up with, and we got into a debate on Facebook. And that's how I met Adrian. Then we got to talking, and he created this. He's like, join my John. And yeah, it's been history ever since. I don't know if Fultz is going to get traded, Connor. Hopefully. Because we need more depth, if we can. Who's the boss? Adrian? J-Rock? Yeah, he's smart. He knows his shit. Good dude. Definitely a good dude. Oh, wow. Reports are saying Anthony Davis likes the Knicks as much as he likes the Lakers. Yikes. And it's been a fast and frenzy free trade market today. Otto Porter just went to not too long ago. Got traded to the Bulls for Portis and Jabari Parker. Will the players change the momentum of the Sixers? Absolutely, Philly sports. I want Matthews Wilson 100%. Ellington would be okay, but my main guy is Wes Matthews. That's who I'm wanting. That's the top of the buyout list. But Elton Brand ain't done yet. I don't know, Eric. I don't know if the Pelicans are going to do anything. They keep sitting them. The commissioner better get on their ass and be like, you better play one of our best players. That's bull. I don't know if Ariza... The Wizards are an anomaly. They said they weren't going to trade Beal, Wall, or Porter, and then they went and traded Porter. You know, I'm sure they have to be listening because they're not going anywhere now. They got to be listening on Markieff Morris and Ariza and even Bradley. Hey, Davis a crybaby into LeBron. Yeah, the crybabies will join up. You know, he wants out. I love how players can just dictate where they want to go now. This shit never would have happened in the 90s. But we can thank LeBron for starting all this. With his little debacle with Miami. This little thing he set up on TV. Thank you, LeBron. Look what you started, bro. So that's that. Yeah, I just want to get on here and talk about this trade and wondering why everybody's pissing and moaning about it. You know? You tank for a couple of years, you get your stars like we have. Then you want to surround them with even better players like we have. Thank you, Sam Hinkie. I wish you were here to reap all your benefits. Colangelo kind of set us back just a bit with sitting on the trades of Okafor and Noel, getting absolutely close to nothing for them. You know? And then I'm not going to get on them for the Markelle Fultz thing because I wanted Fultz. You can't see that happening. You know, sometimes you just get stuck with bad luck. Yeah, and then Kevin Durant exacerbated that situation on top of what LeBron did, Eric. So, thank you, Hinkie. You have been the main architect and orchestrator behind putting the Sixers into this position. Wish he was here to benefit. LeBron will never be compared to MJ. I agree. You can't compare him. MJ's the GOAT. So, yeah, beat him with his own rule, right, Eric? So thank you, Hinkie. You're the main architect. You should still be running this team, but Elton Brand, what a great pupil. Because I've been impressed. He is letting his balls hang out right now. And he's got massive balls right now. He's showing everybody his cojones. He's just swinging them. You go to the Empire State Building, go to the top of the Comcast building right now, and swing them suckers. Because balls are out right now. He's like, get me. Look at these Jones. Because he just made a statement in the East. And everybody should be scared. Brass balls. Huge. Huge hairy balls. That's what Elton's working with right now. And I love what he's done. Alright, guys. This is Kyle Gaffner with the Bitter Birds. Sixers are the best team in the East. And have a very high chance of going to the finals this year. Let's hope the team meshes well. Let's hope Brett Brown pulls his ass out of his head. I just did a Jason Witten comment. Jesus. Let's just hope he pulls his head out of his ass. My bad. I've been rambling for so long. But you got to get it done, Brett. It's make it or break it time now, baby. This is a layup. It should be a layup. It's a slam dunk. Let's get it. Kyle Gaffner with the Bitter Birds. I'm out. Let's go Sixers. Can't wait.